Hi. I finally made it outside. This series is called From the Bee's Perspective. Hold up, let me see if I can. Can you see? Look. I've always loved photography. I took it for the first time, like a photography class, my freshman year of high school at Berkeley High, and fell in love with it, fell in love with the dark room. And I've always, had like Kodak cameras and, hold on, here's another one that's a bumblebee. But yeah, I've always really loved photography, and I guess I never really took it seriously, but having focused on songwriting and rapping and recording and trying to understand the business and going to school, studying audio engineering, then studying entertainment business and studying entertainment business law and music business law, all that stuff. There's another type. This one's like a dark black one with big wings. Let me see. I don't know if you could see it because I have it facing this way. But yeah, I never really, I don't know why I didn't let myself really get into it. But I still have, I have photos from starting back in high school, and then once we got camera phones that really had good enough quality, I started, and I've taken a few photos too, like when people have cameras, but I think me learning and figuring out how to create a sustainable model as an independent Black female hip-hop artist and entrepreneur is more about, it's more a political and economic statement, and it's more like a jab to the patriarchy. It's more a jab to capitalism and classism and racism and sexism. It's more my way of being like, no, we deserve to take up space. It is possible to create systems where Black women in the music industry, women in hip-hop, Black female music entrepreneurs can live sustainably and eat well and feed the world through our gifts and our offering. It's you want to see this one? Hold up. No, it wasn't trying to be seen, I guess. But yeah, so it's been a long journey since I decided to take this seriously at 16 to, actually understanding money, which I'm still learning that, I'm still healing my relationship with money and finances. And, I always forget this, and my homegirl always reminds me what it's called. Starts with the I. Anyway, just healing and feeling like I am worthy of taking up space and executing on my ideas, and my ideas are smart and they can work, and if they don't work, fuck it, I'll figure it out. But the reason I'm saying this in connection to this series, From the Bee's Perspective, I've always really identified with honeybees, and you can hear it even in my raps. When I first started recording back in the day, there's several songs on which I reference bees. and honey, and what do I want to say? That when you take your love and your art form, like the way that you just express your spirit naturally. I've always sung. I've rapped for a very long time. I've always, loved hip hop music since the first time I heard it. I've always mumbled and put rhymes together and wrote poems and came up with melodies and got shit stuck in my head and choreographed dances. Like, that's always been just the way that my spirit expresses itself. But when you take that natural expression, and oftentimes for me, I feel like it's a calling. Not as much because, and I'm gonna say something that I'm not supposed to say, as an MC, not as much because I'm like, oh, well, I'm the best rapper alive. But more because I decided, being alive as a human being is hard. It's hard. It's hard to be human. This shit is hard. Y'all see these? Look, this is my partner says I don't have a resting bitch face, but if I had one, this would be the one. This one, and wait, no, it's not that. It's like that one. You see? So like, that's how life has been for me, like perplexing and like enraging. This is the muscle pattern on my face, but also like surprising and bizarre. What's this one? But I don't know how to, yeah. And then like, I'm so excited. I'm so, yeah, and there's smiling wrinkles, thank God. But all that being said, photography is, well, wait a minute, I'm almost there. I'm gonna land the plane, and I'm happy that this is gonna be like buried in the series. Maybe I'll start leaving y'all like video journal Easter eggs in my photo series carousels. So the thing is that when you take that artistic expression and that that spiritual expression and that like calling type energy, and you engage with capitalism to try to figure out how the fuck to make a living wage. And for me, I'm a Black woman, I'm 38, I have not had children yet. By the time my mom was this age, she already had 4 children, I think. You know what I'm saying? She had her last child at 43 and then tied her tubes. So she would still probably be rocking and popping them out. And one of the things she told me, this is a little bit of a tangent. She was like, don't let them pressure you or scare you. She's like, girl, I had your last brother standing on one leg after the doctor left the, what's the name? She like, I hopped up. I hopped up from the bed once. But I waited till the doctor left the room. I hopped up that leg, and popped that baby out. Ooh, ashe. So, hold up. Can you see? I think it's a bumble. It's a bumble. Ooh, and there's a honeybee. I don't know if you can see it. But, like, it's a real thing for like reproductive rights, and like protecting our right to choose is a big deal, because it's not just about the right to end a pregnancy if it isn't good for us, but it's also about the right to have a baby and to have a world and a society that's organized so that if you so choose, it's not gonna fuck your whole shit up. It's not gonna kill you, It's not gonna, permanently disable you, and it's not gonna put you in an economic position where you're so vulnerable to being oppressed and manipulated and dominated, right? And so for us, the right to choose to have a baby or to not have a baby, they're both equally important. As a Black woman who was raised poor and didn't grow up in the type of family like a multi-generational family where I could have a baby and have my mama and my grandmama and all my aunties and my sisters and my cousins and brothers and uncles and dad and his mama all, helping raise my kids. It's a different situation. Economically, you really gotta, you have to have a strategy up behind you, because women, we get ate alive. And so when you're like me, trying to walk in alignment with your calling, my calling, knowing from a young age this is what I was called to do, also knowing that this is what I was called to figure out how to do in prosperity under capitalism, then you have to engage with capitalism. And it's some fuck shit, because when I was young, y'all don't understand most of this journey. I did not fucking understand how to engage with capitalism. Go back to the Bay Area. Go back to Oakland and Berkeley and San Francisco and Richmond and San Jose and Seattle and Guatemala and Wellington, New Zealand, and trying to think about all the places in the world that I performed, before I even ever thought of charging, before I even ever thought of asking for money in exchange for my labor, before I even, it just never really occurred to me at all. And then bit by bit, wrapping my mind around, wait a minute, I'm being exploited, I'm being taken advantage of. My male counterparts who have been rapping as long or less long, they're touring the world with, artists, major artists, signed artists, all type of shit. And even some of, my female peers, I feel like, what is going on, right? And being like, okay, well, maybe I can do it without charging. Maybe I can do it, in service of nonprofit organizations. Maybe I can do it in service of, this cause or that cause. And ultimately what I'm learning and have been learning over the past, since I opened my business, my LLC in 2021, and launched my fiscally sponsored project organization, is that unfortunately, because of the ways that we have been taught to relate to Black women and their labor, our labor, there is a certain lane where people will get behind you caping and burning yourself out and draining your resources and be like, yeah, girl, that's so dope because you're really down and you're real and you're down with the cause. This is just my experience. But also not pay you for a living wage. The same people who understand that when they go to buy a Prius, the Prius costs what the fuck the Prius costs, because the Prius provides a certain value and solves a certain problem. They're not up in the Prius dealership trying to negotiate. They're not in the Benz dealership trying to negotiate, talking about, well, sorry, but we only have a budget of, $1,000, or we only have a budget of $150, but, we can provide a sandwich and some water, or whatever the case may be. And that's the thing about artist oppression, is that we never put two and two together. If you love Kendrick Lamar, do you think that it would be possible for Kendrick Lamar to provide for his children and his family and his community in the way that he has if we weren't compensating him for his albums, compensating him for his concerts and his shows. Like, if you love Queen Latifah and you've been touched by her work, you know, like she's another one that like did it independent and got it out the mud. But this is just a long-winded way of saying, because I've had to engage with capitalism and try to figure out how to do it in a way that is with integrity, which you always trying to get into alignment, trying to be in integrity in engaging with capitalism, because capitalism is out of alignment with humanity. But because of that, so much of my attention and time has gone towards, you know, trying to figure that riddle, that enigma out. Baby! And now, I don't think he sees me. Baby! Joshua! And now I'm gonna start just doing photography for the love of it. Pooh! Pootie! Pootie, stop ignoring me! Pootie Pooh! Watch out, Pootie Pooh! Hi, I'm doing a video journal.
How are you? You look so cute in your little white hat.
Thank you.
Of course I saw you. I saw you on
Oh, I was like, maybe he doesn't see me. Damn, baby, you just jumped on the bee's home.
That's not a bee's home. That's a bee's food.
The bee. Ooh,
Come on,
pretty.
baby. I'm a science teacher. I know these things.
Ooh! Baby, pop your shit, baby.
You see,
Yes.
bee
Ooh.
percolates amongst the flowers,
Ooh.
and the bees makes the bee's knees
Ooh.
back at the bee's nest.
Baby, am I the bee or the flower?
Well, see,
Mm.
a woman like you
Mm.
find yourself being the bee and the flower.
Ooh.
Getting high on your own supply, if you will.
Oh, baby, not on camera.